Happy Monday. So today we don't trade. However, we still do trading stuff. It's what I like to call my CEO day. Trading is basically running a business. So I take one day to focus on the path forward. So let's start with last week. If we look at my top step, we can see that last week wasn't too bad. So Monday down 68, but I was actually up 200 and I just kept trading. Whatever. On the 30th, I was up 141. However, I only traded one MNQ. So normally my size is 1 NQ or 5 micros. But because I sized down, I made a lot less than what I normally would have. And this is a thing that I notice where I'm looking for consistency, but I'm not being consistent. So that kind of skews all of my data. And had I traded my proper size that day, then my week actually would have been green even with my losses. So what I'm going to focus on right now is the losses, because looking over my stream, looking over my trades, I definitely took some really dumb trades. So let's look at them. All right. So here's the first one. I would say the drawn liquidity is definitely this. So what I had missed here was that at market open, we had made equal lows. We came so close to this, which is why I didn't want to take one closer. Normally when I'm really confident on the drawn liquidity, I will take that first inversion and I will just take it up to the first high. So this really was... Let's see, where's the trade happen? 45.56. Doesn't look like I made a trade though. Oh, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry. 128. Okay, so I'm green there, but I had accidentally sent a market order instead of sending a limit order, so it's not the trade that I meant to take, so I canceled it right away. Just give it a minute. We'll come to my trade. We didn't have an inverse. What I was looking at here was this 30-second. And we took so many candles to inverse it. Normally, I'm very big on only taking inverses that are in 6 candles or less. I love 3 candle inverses. However, if the volume is good, 6 is fine. Something like this, I know in my right mind I never would have taken, but because I had missed a trade before and he had just pumped, then I got FOMO and I really wanted to take a trade. So here's the trade now. We can watch that. Watch me get, I don't know if I get wrecked. It might be the next trade that I got wrecked on. Yeah, it was the next trade. So this one was a break even. We never hit that internal low. We never hit the break even point, but because price was really stalling, I did just go break even. Also, the R to R is not that good. I do generally do a 1-to-1 if we're doing short at all-time highs. So I made this in my mental notes. Never take an inverse that is more than 6 candles. Too many candles. And then our next trade was a long, which was also a FOMO. So the gap that I picked, very not good. And if you listen to myself on stream, I send the order and I send an NQ instead of the 5 micros. And I say to myself, Samaya, what are you doing? So definitely not going to take one like that. See, look, I didn't even mark out the fair value gap. Here, I'm just sitting, looking, waiting for a trade. So not good psychology, not good, definitely not good business decisions. So this, and when I look at this stuff, it's actually very easy to fix. So I feel very proud that I can record these and watch these back in real time, because look how many candles, like we literally chopped. If we go over the A+ system, I have it right here. If we go over our A+ system, it is momentum with no chop. Even if we go down to A, we say momentum with some chop. This is all chop. So very grateful that I can look back at this and see where I went wrong. So that was October 1st. Now let's go to Tuesday. This is a very accurate face at all the bad trades I made. So we're going to start with 45.56. Okay, so right here. Okay, so this was actually a very nice trade. Price action sucked. However, and I held this through news. So it was very close to news. But sometimes if it's not that high impact and it's a 10 o'clock news, I'm not too Nazi on not going in on news. So the inversion was very nice. And I held that one through news. However, I got a little greedy with my RR, so I didn't really get any profits on that, but it was a break-even trade. So the good thing, this was a good trade. I saw Ryan also took this, and a couple other people that trade IFVGs on Instagram did take this. Some people took profits. Ryan got break even, so whatever. I'm cool with it. Now, where it goes wrong, and this was A+, so we swept to liquidity, and we were tapping into a higher, we were delivering from a higher time frame for value gap. Next one. So when this trade stopped me at BE and then proceeded to go in my direction, I got FOMO. So what I'm looking for here is I'm looking for an inversion off this little tiny candle. There's no liquidity sweep, no higher time frame delivery. But what I was going off of in my brain, which is not smart, and to not do it again, was I was using the liquidity sweep and the higher time frame delivery from the past one. So as we can see, this comes up now. Don't know if this is the one I got wrecked on. 10.06. Stop with a little bit of profit. And then two, my R to R on this is good. It's not too bad. But really there's no delivery, no liquidity sweep. Not a good trade. Would not take that again. Now 104. This one here, now I'm really just feeling FOMO and really wanting to get in a win or get in a trade or get in something, especially as the market's making these little V shapes and I'm not taking anything. I just got a little carried away. So I took an inverse here, but really when I look back on the charts, there was no inverse to take. The wicks overlapped, so not very smart again. And I'm really grateful that I can review these just to see. While this one was another break-even trade, and if I had only had 1-to-1, it looks like it's a 1-to-1 RR. But anyway. And then you can see my face here, definitely feeling a little bit emotional. So, good to identify. I also like to look at my face and see. Now the next one. Oh, this one's my favorite. Okay, so on the stream, as I was rewatching back, I saw that this fair value gap here, to the left, the 1 minute, it's not even highlighted out. But I had said if we inverse this one to the downside, then we're going down to our sell side liquidity. Okay, so I saw this candle come down. I forgot about this fair value gap here. Can you guys see my mouse? No, you can't. But I forgot about the fair value gap there on the left. And as we made this huge candle, we didn't sweep anything. We didn't deliver from anything. But I saw that big candle, and I saw us inverse it in 2 candles. And I said, oh, fuck, this looks really good. But I had missed the context from before. So I get in a long on the 1 minute. And then I am immediately wrecked. So this was the trade that I had lost on. So watching that. I can see myself being emotional, being like, oh, it looks so good. But really it didn't. It was just the candle. That trade was purely just IFEG, and it wasn't about drawing liquidity. And that's one thing I've really been hammering in my head is the importance of drawing liquidity, stop loss, target, and then entry model. So here I'm going to send it. Okay, oh, I already sent it. And then it just absolutely comes all back down on me. And I didn't even put my little window. Normally what I'm supposed to do is spot out my fair value gap, do my short or long position, see what my risk is, measure it all out, figure out what I'm going to do. But my process just wasn't followed here. And as you can see, the loss was deserved. So lastly, I had seen this. So having so much FOMO from losing, and I'm pretty sure I missed out on a 30-second before that. I had saw this here. So what we had done was we closed below the 1 hour, and my theory was that if we closed below the 1 hour, then we were going to that liquidity, that little intermediate term low inside that 1 hour fair value gap. That was something that I had said on stream as something I was thinking of as a trade idea before. And then it closed, and I'm sitting there, I'm watching, I'm like, oh, this is a trade that Ryan would take, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, should I get in? Should I not get in? Should I get in? Should I not get in? And then the time just keeps passing. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to do it. So I sent a short. It actually came all the way down to my liquidity. It came all the way down to my TP and reversed just 4 ticks. So that one was a break-even stop. It serves me right for chasing and for not really playing on my model. Well, we did inverse the 1 hour. I really like to inverse on the higher time frame and then find a smaller time frame in between just so I can get that confirmation. All right, so that was the second. Now we're going to go back over the third. So this was Friday. It could just blow my account. Yes, I was very close to I was in drawdown. My account blew at 50,000, and I was about $200 or $300 away. So this trade here, I actually saw that Tempo Trades took it, and he took a 1-to-1. So it's not that it's a bad trade. It's just that we're very high in premium, and there's just too many candles to inverse. I really, in my back testing, in my forward testing, I have noticed that when we inverse in more than 3 candles, or like more, if we have more than 3 candles to close that fair value gap, we're likely gonna just go the opposite way as it closes. Where is it? Because what happens is I send it on the 30-second. It starts to retrace. I notice we didn't close the 1 minute. And then I cancel my order for a $90 loss. And then we close on the 1 minute. I send my mini. And then I get break even. So FOMO led my trades. And it led me to losses, because if I look back on the week, really the only trade was Tuesday, the one that I took, even though it was during news. That was break even. Wednesday, we had that data low, even though it was a protected low, but we had that data low, so I didn't want to take that long. So Wednesday would have been a flat day. And then Thursday, no, sorry, Friday. I got the days backwards. So Thursday would have been a flat day. Friday would have been that, well, we had this trade here. And then after that, we didn't get any trades. I was looking for us to close below the 4 hour, close below the 1 hour, and then we were going to find a bearish setup. But I just got too impatient and did not follow my plan. So now I'm down 90 on this one. And now we're going to close the 1 minute, and I'm going to FOMO back in. Yep, there you go. FOMO back in. Back to the high, even though we're showing really strong resistance here. Like, look at these wicks. All right, one more trade. This is the trade that blew my account. How good of a trade was it? I had just said that I was bearish on the higher time frame. What had happened was NQ closed below the 4 hour, closed below the 1 hour, but ES had actually just tapped into the 4 hour, just tapped into the 1 hour. So ES was going up, NQ was going down. Because ES had only tapped into the 4 hour, I decided to change my bias from bearish to bullish, but what I should have done was just waited. My theory was that when we hit that 6,800 psychological level that we would dump on NQ and on ES, and I was going to take a trade on ES, but because I got too impatient and I blew my account, I missed my chance. So Friday, we would have had an A+ setup. We would have had to wait. It looked like it didn't come out until about noon. But, however, I would have been more than happy to wait for that when I am in the best trading mindset. So, now that we've gone over all my trades, while I can take this 683 loss week and account blown and go into the weekend or go into the next week feeling bad about myself, as I review my trades, I see that these trades are completely avoidable. These losses are 100% avoidable. So this week, my plan is we are only going to take A+ setups. Maybe an A if the SMT with ES aligns. And we are going to be very specific about the momentum with no chop. Because while I did take some good trades off of the drawn liquidity, so the unmitigated fair value gap with a liquidity sweep, I did forget about the momentum with no chop. So, great to review. Great to use my CEO day here as my chance to make a plan for the week. And I really look forward to following my plan this week and then reviewing this video and all my other videos on the weekend. Oh, another rule I wanted to say was that I'm going to do a calculated risk. So I'm resetting my 50K. I'll have my drawdown back at 2,000. which will then give me the option to break that up into 10 trades of about $200 each. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to plan out my trade. I'm going to put my little window, the long position or the short position, and then we're going to measure out with the ticks. How many ticks is it? That can give us how many contracts we can use. So maybe a mini. I usually use the minis on the 1 minutes or the 30 seconds, but it depends on how big the gap is. So we're really going to focus on our risk management, on our A+ setups, and on our targets this week. Yay! All right, we could take a moment of gratitude. Thank you very much, trading, for being a part of our life. I love dedicating myself to trading because I know that it will bring us freedom. Let's get this.